Good morning, Chris Malooly. How are you
Good morning,
today?
Cari Ann. How are you?
Great. Chris, I want to introduce you to our audience. Chris Malooly, the owner of Malooly Homes. I've known Chris for many years, a tremendous name in the Twin Cities and known for his gorgeous, gorgeous general contracting work. Chris, welcome to the show. I can't wait to interview you today.
Thank you, Cari Ann. It's nice to be here. I'm excited to have a conversation with you and share some ideas of what's going on around the town with construction.
I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you because so many people interpret, we've been talking a lot about the market and the media's interpretation and what they're saying and what's really happening in our city. Would you agree, Chris, that renovation and construction are off the charts in the Twin Cities right now?
Without a doubt, renovation, remodeling, new construction is booming. It's big. It's full speed. We have heard some conversations with the media, the national media, the local media, of some variations in the temperature and the climate, but things are moving. Things are moving fast. People are busy, anxious to remodel, and we're definitely busy. We've been as busy now as we've ever been.
I know you have.
We're
I know
we're
you have.
finding a lot of folks that are remodeling their existing home.
Mhm.
We are meeting a lot of folks that are looking for a new home and or a used home, let's call it, and they're going to relocate.
Right.
And we get the very, very familiar phone call of, hey, can you do a walkthrough with this house with us? Cari Ann has a listing for us, and we're curious about what is the potential to update the master bathroom or maybe make some modifications to the kitchen, update some appliances, or replace this sliding door. So
Absolutely.
we're seeing requests all over the board. Anything from, like I just said, maybe a new sliding patio door to a new deck to a sunroom addition to the most ever common request is, can you open up the kitchen between the kitchen and dining room? That is a very common request.
Mhm.
Almost weekly we get that call.
Absolutely. It's a very
Um,
common need,
and everything
especially
in
for
between.
yeah. Our real estate in this city is of the age where we have a lot of traditional housing in the city. And then of course our newer, like our burbs have a lot of homes that have hit that 20 plus year mark and are beautiful, beautiful communities and homes, but they just need a refresh. You're not just exclusive to new build, you do gorgeous, gorgeous renovation work. And we'd love to incorporate some of your beautiful photography and show people some of your before and afters. Absolutely.
Thanks for bringing that up. So we do renovations on all scales for all different types of families and
Mhm.
homes, and we're renovating the middle class folks, the everybody's like you and me,
Mhm.
and we're also taking care of some folks that are more the executives, and that's fine as well. But yeah, the 20-year-old homes definitely can use a refresh.
Mhm.
It might be updating some cabinets, it might be painting some trim, it might be getting rid of the red hardwood floors and replacing them with a light colored white oak flooring, and then doing a tune up around that. But we're seeing renovations, we're seeing new construction, we're seeing small and big, and um, actually we're doing a lot of small projects like right now, and enjoying every bit of it.
Yeah.
It's for some reason or another that's kind of becoming our niche right now, and um, that's where we're focused. We're doing a lot of that.
Would you agree, Chris, that when it comes, you and I have worked with a handful of clients together that have been vacillating between building and then buying existing and renovating. And I would say that the new build option is a phenomenal option. Accessing the labor pool and the selection process, to be very honest about it, is maybe some of the renovation work you're seeing is amping up because they're maybe rethinking building because of the time it's taking. How are you feeling personally about that with your group in terms of new build timelines?
New build timelines have grown. There's no two ways about it. And that's not something that we really want to brag about or share or make a big issue of.
Yeah.
But
No.
responsibly, we have to set expectations in a realistic manner.
Mhm.
So um, the world has changed. And it does take a little bit longer to get windows and appliances and maybe a few other items, but for the most part, we're just planning differently.
Hmm.
Okay. We're
Right.
setting expectations differently. We're ordering windows and appliances right away so that we can time our builds and our remodels around it. But yes, we do see some folks that want to remodel and do a tune up, or again, open up the kitchen, remodel the kitchen. It's a very common request, and we do a lot of them. And we could possibly share some photos with you. You could share with some of your clients, but it's some before and afters have of the kitchen remodels, and remodeling an existing home is very common, very popular, and we're having fun doing it.
Absolutely. So, how would you define your business model, Chris, as a designer and a builder in comparison to others out there? When you define Malooly Homes and who Chris is, what does that look like? How would you explain that to everybody?
I'm hands on. I have the longer I do this, the more hands on I would like to be. I want to be out there. I want to be working side by side with our project managers, with the carpenters, with the subs, and I like it. I prefer that. I like to make sure that expectations are met as well as possible.
Hmm.
And I like to make sure the quality is there. I've built my reputation on delivering quality regardless of the price point. It's either done right or it's not done right, and I am really proud of that. And so um, I will be on site. I will be on site as often as I can, and sometimes on my hands and knees, and sometimes driving the vacuum. The
Hmm.
guys often laugh at me. That's all you do is drive the vacuum. Well, guess what? When I'm driving the vacuum, that's quality control because I'm looking at every nook and cranny, and hopefully delivering the level of quality that I've promised the customer. And that's what they expect and that's what they deserve.
Yeah, I love
So a
that.
lot of hands-on.
I love that about you. And the time that I've worked with you, you've always been extremely hands on and very, very much involved with the client relationship. And you can't say that about all contracting groups, right? General contracting groups. They start a project and then they have a crew on site and maybe some type of site manager to be able to be a part of that building process, renovation process, selections, design work as a collaborative is a super cool experience. And what I call very small town experience, right? Very collaborative. I love that about you.
I
It's cool.
prefer more of a boutique experience for the customer.
Hmm.
And
Great word.
we have tried both styles of construction over the years. Have done this for 20 some years. And if I step away and I drive computer and sit in an office, I really kind of, from time to time, I feel a little disconnected from the pulse of the job.
Hmm.
And that's fine if you have the right people in place, and that process does work. But honestly, I prefer to be on site and see it and feel it and smell it and see what's going on, and make sure that everybody's happy on the site as well. We want to keep our subs happy
Hmm.
because the happy subs give better quality finish. It just is what it is. This is a
Absolutely.
people business. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah, that's right.
And we need good subs. We have good subs, and having been here for 20 whatever years, it's helped to create the relationships to keep the great people on the job. Um, so yeah, I've seen it both ways. I've done it both ways where I've been hands off and hands on, and I'd just rather keep this boutique atmosphere. And I'm not here to be the biggest company in town. That is not my goal. Never will be.
Hmm.
But I would like to provide good service for sure.
Love that. Love that. So, I think sharing some of the specialty projects you've done as well, people will come out and say, I'm really looking to do this amazing new bar, like that pub that you did, or they're looking to create this creme brulee of a space, I call it. That's right up your alley. Like your level of design is highly elevated, in my opinion. Can you share with everybody a little bit about your specialty projects and some of the work that you really like can dig in and get that design component on a high level.
I love to dig in. I'd love to work with the customer, potentially with the designer, potentially with the architect, and get a collaborative group. And when we do design work, when I do design work, I like to be involved from day one. I like to sit in the meetings. I like to get a feel for the client and what they're looking for and what's their experience what is the home they want to build, how do they want it detailed, how do they want to live, how does it fit their family. And when I'm involved from the beginning, I feel like I can be more effective
Mm-hmm.
in executing and really helping to get inside of the client, um, and their expectations, and help make sure that the architect or the interior designer stays on track with that. Um, so yeah, some specialty projects. We had a client come to us that he was from Ireland and he wanted
Oh,
to recreate an authentic Irish pub.
oh, awesome.
And he had some very specific requests how he wanted to do it. He has an interior designer that he had worked with, and she brought us in to help to execute on this project. And um, was it easy? No. Was it fun? Most of the time. Is it beautiful? Absolutely. I mean, it's actually quite spectacular. I'll share some photos of that with you. Maybe
Mhm.
some of your viewers want to see that.
Yeah.
So that was one. That was one that was really fun, and and it's had some traction, and a lot of people have been asking about.
Hmm.
On other requests, we've done a couple of pool houses,
Oh, fun.
and we're finding folks are remodeling or doing an addition on their home instead of buying another cabin or a second home in the mountains. They're spending more money and time at home,
Hmm.
and so the swimming pool addition has been a popular request. So my goal, our goal, is to help connect the people, the homeowners and the family, to the pool, to the yard, and make it that special experience to be a alternative for the, let's call it the up north cabin experience.
Right.
And um, so it's just like a little getaway inside of their existing home. And we've been pretty successful, I think we've been pretty successful doing a few of those. And they're nice. It's cool, it's fun. Maybe a little cafe window that opens up where you have another kitchenette in this pool house
Right.
to help give the client a feeling that they're getting away from their regular routine, their regular kitchen, their regular everydayness, and they can go downstairs on the weekend or evening and maybe entertain some neighbors or friends and family, and connect to their backyard, and make it a lot easier than driving to the cabin, and a lot less maintenance. So that's a
Well,
popular request.
yeah. Don't you agree that post COVID or through that COVID process, people really rethought how they want to live in their home, what their expectation is in terms of their environment, and having a quality of being able to truly entertain in a way that's very family oriented, a lot more family time being spent together, and the real obvious time constraints people have. So, being in Minnesota, we have a huge lake, second home lake component to our marketplace, right? And it's become, I'm hearing this quite a lot. I really want to focus all my energy and investment in one home rather than trying to manage two because of time. And I'm seeing a lot of those lake properties getting transitioned out and people focusing on one property and doing just that, adding the pool component or renovating it. Super cool. That's a fun one. We'll throw those up. What other interesting transitions have you seen in the last 3 years post COVID in terms of what people's needs are as they're seeing kids coming back home again, and how they're spending time in their spaces?
Family,
Mhm.
space, time, efficiency, home office, um, recreation, if you
Mhm.
will, at home.
Yep.
Had some unique requests. We've all seen and
Mhm.
built sport courts. We're all familiar with the sport court.
Yep.
I had the honor of building an indoor batting cage. Never done that before. That was
That's
cool.
awesome.
When that customer came to us and wanted an indoor batting cage, that was a bit of a head scratcher. But we worked with a really good local architecture firm out of Wayzata, which maybe we could share that later,
Mhm.
and designed something out. Um, had it drafted, built, and it's pretty cool.
Very
Indoor
cool.
batting cage.
Yeah.
That's a first. So that was fun. Um,
Yeah, golfing, really hockey is a big sport. How is that
Hockey's
feeling right?
huge.
Yeah, it's so huge. How are you implementing that kind of space into a home right now?
They're all being built more like sport court style,
Mhm.
and that's a pretty special higher end customer. Not everybody gets to live that way. I sure don't.
Yeah,
But
no.
happy to build it. Happy to
Yeah,
build it.
absolutely.
So if it's a new construction, maybe it'll be a large space underneath a garage.
Hmm.
And that can be large enough for the basketball court or the hockey or gymnastics, but we want it to be versatile too.
Hmm.
Hockey specific is very specific, like a batting cage, that's very specific. We're seeing indoor golf.
That's a huge one. I'm seeing a
That's a
lot more of
biggie.
that. It really is a biggie. Golf and hockey, those two, super, super big sports in our state for sure.
I've
I,
been promoting a little bit more of the and finding a lot of people reacting and responding favorably to the sauna and dunk tank. And
yeah,
I think it's a
yeah.
really nice way to recover and integrate that with your fitness program and also your mental health. Honestly, you name the key word here is time.
Hmm.
And during COVID, we may or may not be working from home more than we have in the past, but
Right.
people don't have time. We don't. We're spread
Yeah.
thin. We have texting, social media, emails, regular human demands, family demands. There's not enough time to go around. So if we can integrate some of these amenities into their home and their lifestyle,
Hmm.
we're seeing people favorably respond to it. And I'm a big fan of a sauna and a dunk tank. And when I do an addition on my house, I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
And that's
totally
my next
agree.
phase.
That's a plan for us too. Love that. That's a great segue. In every single interview I've done thus far, Chris, we've talked about the family, work, environment, balance, challenge. And I don't, you and I have been in the industry for about the same amount of time. And everyone I'm talking to that's in the 20 plus year range of their work in this business will absolutely say that the social component and the time constraints are so real. Give everybody your take on that. And how do you find the balance? How do
Oh
you do
boy.
that?
Okay.
It's a big question.
So is that a personal? You like my personal? How do I balance it?
Yeah. How do you balance it?
Oh boy. Well, um, I could take a lesson or two on that. I may work a little bit more than I should. However, I have a lot of recreational things that I like to do, and I refuse to give them up. I love to be out mountain biking with friends, sometimes by myself, sometimes with a group, sometimes with some high schoolers, maybe contribute. I've done a fair amount of that over my lifetime.
Very cool.
And any opportunity to get out and recreate with my wife. She likes to hike through Theodore Wirth and do trail running. Um, but staying active, staying fit, visiting Colorado, going to visit some friends. I had a bout of time when I lived out there. And we like to hike and run and bicycle out there as well. But as much recreation as possible and try to be real consistent in the evenings. Maybe turn off my phone for a couple hours so
Yeah.
I can do that.
Hmm.
And then the phone will always be there. I can come back in a couple hours and then respond back. But I think it's important to take a break. I think it's important to exercise. I think it's important for physical health and mental health.
Hmm.
And the demands of this industry just they don't stop. So if
No.
someone wants you, I'll be there. But I might take a 1 hour break or 2 hour break to go get some exercise.
Hmm. Absolutely. Those are great words of wisdom and something everybody needs to be reminded of, in my opinion, on the daily, because it's very easy. I agree with everything you just said. It's very easy to let the work take over. And
Hmm.
the time involved, the time investment is real and there's been a lot more time taken because of the added layers of the work. The work is more complex now. I think the technology is a great thing, but it's also added a lot of layers and responsibility and stress to manage. It's a management tool that you have to really master. That's cool. So how have you been able to leverage social media for yourself and the technology to help implement your network, because you are an independent boutique builder now. So you've transitioned that in just the last few years, and
The
you have
last
a
few
new
years,
audience.
it's really important to have good imagery, good photos, good documentation. And this is year 3 as of pretty much today. We're
Oh,
transitioning from another
congratulations!
partnership
Well, happy
to
anniversary.
thank you. And we are going to grow our social media presence. And website and Facebook and Instagram. But in the past, I've had some members of the team that are just sharing some on-site photos, showing what's really going on site, the day in the life of a contractor or the carpenters, and
Mhm.
maybe just throwing a few photos on Instagram. That's been kind of fun. We'll be doing some more of that too.
Well, you have a huge following, Chris Malooly, in the
Oh,
local
thank you.
market. You've been doing some amazing work for a long time. I mean, you've
Thank
been
you.
around a long time, and your your name is well known out there. And I think it's important. One of the reasons I wanted to bring Chris on this program is not only is it a perfect interpretation of flying the coop, because that's what we're doing. We're helping people do that every single day and creating their new coop. But more importantly, understanding your bandwidth and how much knowledge you have and how many different kinds of scenarios you can step into and help. I think that's really, really an important thing to share with everybody because you're such a talent. So I wanted to be able to do that. And I'm super excited to add some of the photography that you've got on your before and afters, and the bandwidth that we just talked about is amazing. Really, really impressive. Is there anything else you want to share with everybody?
Well, when you were commenting about bandwidth, I think I take for granted and I often forget. Um, Not every contractor is a remodeler or capable or willing to remodel.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been fortunate that we've been gifted with the knowledge and the foresight and the ability to see the before and after before we even start construction. So I'm really grateful for that. The remodeling industry has been good to us. I'm looking forward to several more years of remodeling and new construction. Um, but yeah, it's been a good experience, and looking forward to the future.
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch what happens. Share with everybody where you really like to spend. You got to control your time, right? So most of your work is they look at your portfolio and your website, which will include when we drop this podcast. Where do you do most of your work in the city, Chris?
Mostly western side of the town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Minneapolis and West is our primary focus. We've done some St. Paul work,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's everything from Victoria, Lake Minnetonka, to Excelsior, to St. Louis Park, Edina, the Minneapolis area, Minnetonka, Eden
Mm-hmm.
Prairie. We've got a lot of work in Eden Prairie, and but primary focus is West. Even Crystal, we did a
Mm-hmm.
renovation on a home in Crystal. It
Oh,
was a
cool.
regular old mid-century Rambler,
Love it.
and with the low ceilings, and we vaulted that one. It was for another realtor friend. Um, but we'll shoot some photos of that one. That one's getting final touches right now.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, all around the western suburbs. Mhm.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So all bandwidths, all price points, all styles of home, both existing and
Yes.
new. Chris Malooly is your man. Malooly Homes. Chris, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast today. I'm really excited to introduce you to everybody who doesn't know Chris.
Thank you, Cari Ann. It's been an honor to be here and great to see you.
Thank you so much. Have a
Okay.
great day.